In this video, we're going to take a closer look at a watch that for me is what the brand stands for, which is a classic, timeless and elegant design. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Alex, and in this video we're going to talk about Breguet. Breguet is a brand I've been quite fond of for a very long time. I had the pleasure to visit their factory like 5-6 years ago. It was a very interesting visit. I mean, they are one of those brands in the watch world that are the most classical ones. And the founder, Abraham Louis Breguet, was the inventor of many inventions that we still use in watchmaking today. But this is not going to be a history lesson. We're just going to take a closer look at one very interesting and beautiful watch from their past. So this watch is from their Classique line. It's the reference number 5907. And this watch contains many of those elements in a watch or in a watch design that I believe that Breguet are one of the best in the game to accomplish. In the last couple of year and a half, the neo-vintage and discontinued smaller references from the Breguet lineup has started to rise in popularity. Rightfully so. They have been neglected for many years, and I remember when I started to look at their smaller classic models, the 32 to 34 millimeter in diameter watches, they were around 3,500 euros on the secondary market, which is a lot of value for the money, and you'll probably agree even more if you see this full video. And now in the last couple of 6 months to 12 months, they have started to rise in popularity, which is reflected of course on the secondary market. And nowadays I'd say entry-level classic is around 4.5–5K, depending on the size and if it is a two-hand or if it has small seconds, etc. But still at that price I find them very underestimated still, considering what you get. With that said, I think I have to make a move soon if I want to be able to buy one at the current market prices, but we'll see about that. What I want to say as well is, before we start to talk more about the watch, is that in my eyes, the modern Breguet era, last 10–15 years, they have somehow forgot a bit about who they are and what they do. And with that, I mean that they have started to produce the same kind of watches, but in a very oversized case dimension in my eyes. So the last couple of years for the Classique models, we have seen like the smallest one is 38 millimeter. And considering this type of watch with a very large and clean dial and a very thin bezel, that can easily look a bit oversized. Also adding to the straight Breguet lugs that are a trademark of their watches, that makes the watches at a, not necessarily a large diameter, but for the type, it makes the watches to fall into a strange category where they look like a dress watch, but they wear more like a sports watch. So I hope for the future that they will start to emphasize their past and their more classical case sizes, as well as we see throughout many brands within the watch industry. But with that said, we're going to focus on a very interesting watch that belongs to a friend. I'm a bit jealous on him actually, because I find this watch very, very nice, and it looks good and it sits good on the wrist. And this is the reference 5907 or 5907, which means it's a 34 or 35, depending a bit how you measure it. But according to the official Breguet homepage, it's a 34 millimeter diameter watch. It has a 18 karat yellow gold case. It's super nice. It's about 7.5 millimeters thick, and it's about 40–41 millimeters long. So very wearable and very clean. It has those typical Breguet design cues with this round case with the straight lugs that are nice and adds a bit of presence to the watch. And also, of course, on the case sides we have this coin edge finish, which is also a typical trademark of Breguet. So the case is very well made and feels super robust at the same time that it's a pretty elegant case profile and shape. But with Breguet, as always, except the movements and the beautiful finishing on the movements, the dials are a work of art. And on this dial, we have a typical Breguet style dial with this guilloche pattern on the middle part of the dial that is more of a hobnail pattern, and also a different type of guilloche pattern in the small seconds indicator. On the outer rim of the dial we have this silvered disc with the Roman numerals that really changes appearance in different lighting conditions. So at first you can like maybe perceive this watch as a bit not so interesting, but when you see how it plays in light in different lighting conditions and how much details in this dial, then you start to really, you know, understand the whole process of this beautiful aesthetic of the dial. Of course, we have the Breguet style hands, because it's a Breguet watch, that are blued, and also Roman numerals as the hour markers. Movement wise, this movement is not in-house, it's actually a Frederic Piguet base, an automatic movement from the start that Breguet has modified, and later on this movement became exclusive to Breguet. This reference actually comes with two different types of movements, the 510 and the 511. The 511 is the later one, it's a bit more refined and it's a bit more sought after. So if you're looking for this specific watch, I'd advise you to go for the 511 movement. 96 hours of power reserve, very nicely finished. It has hand finished angles on the movement, very thin, elegant, and nicely finished. So all in all, the package is a traditional Breguet dress watch, 34 millimeters from the Classique line, with beautiful dial, very nice movement, and a traditional case size and shape. The last known retail price for this watch was around 15,000 euros. Market price now is substantially lower, it's around 8,000–9,000 euros, depending a bit where they are located, but I believe that still at this price point, which is a bit higher compared to the pieces I look after, I still find it a very interesting watch for the price point, considering that you get all the classical Breguet aesthetics and also a very nice manual winding movement. Alright guys, that's the first Breguet featured on the channel. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think about the brand. Are you on the hunt for a Breguet timepiece perhaps? Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.